So today we will study about the satellites. Okay, as the name suggests, satellite. Now before starting, let me tell you one thing. The things which I am going to explain you in this video, these are strictly for class 9th. Okay, the details or the calculation part I will explain in the class 11 portion. When I will make that video, their complete details will be there. In this video there will be a basic knowledge about the satellites. Okay, now see, first, what is the definition of satellite? See, any natural or artificial object revolving around any planet is called as the satellite of that planet. Okay, see, take for example, this is a planet and any object is revolving, like take this object and it is revolving around this planet. Okay, therefore this object is the satellite of this planet. Clear? So this is your satellite. Now types of satellite, there are basically two groups of satellite. First is your natural satellite. This is first group, natural satellite, and second is your artificial satellite. Okay, natural satellite, as the name says, natural, it is available by the nature. We are not manufacturing it. So for Earth, moon is the natural satellite. Why? Because moon is revolving around the Earth. Okay, so natural satellite is only one, moon, for the Earth. Now come to second part, which is artificial satellite. Artificial, as the name suggests, these are the satellites which are made by man, made by scientists or engineers. So these are also called as man-made satellites. Okay, now these man-made satellites, they are again divided into two parts. There are two types of artificial satellite. First is your polar satellite. Okay, and second part is your geostationary satellite. So artificial satellites are of two types, polar satellite and geostationary satellite. Okay, now come to the next portion, which is a polar satellite. Now we will study how these two artificial satellites are working, right? What are the basic principles and how they work. Because natural satellite is your moon, and moon you already know, it is revolving around the Earth. That's it for it. But polar satellite, or you can say artificial satellites, they are the two groups which have been made. They are made according to some purpose. Okay, these satellites have some intent use. Okay, so first is the polar satellite. See, polar satellites is satellites which revolve around the Earth across the poles, right? So these are your polar satellites. See, like for example, this is your Earth. Okay, and you know that these two are poles. Okay, this is your north pole and this is your south pole. All right, so if we are taking the satellite or launching the satellite, then the purpose of this satellite is to revolve around the Earth across the poles. Means the satellite will revolve in this direction, in this way, from top to bottom, from north pole to south pole or south pole to north pole, depending upon the requirement. So this satellite travels in this direction or this direction, from top to bottom or bottom to top. Okay, so what happens, as you know that satellite, in artificial satellite, cameras are installed. So when the satellite is crossing any certain portion around the Earth, then it captures the images of that portion. So if we are to see something placed at a north pole or at a south pole or in between this north pole and south pole, so we can use the polar satellite to see that object. Okay, object or place or anything. So the trajectory of the polar satellite is like this, right, in vertical plane. So this is a polar satellite, and there are various uses depending on the requirement. If you want to see the complete portion between north pole and south pole, means complete region, then you can use this satellite. If you want to see the crop conditions in a specific portion or specific region, then you can use again this polar satellite, because it is covering the entire region. Okay, so these kind of purposes are solved by using the polar satellite. Or you want to see the whole region for any specific purpose, okay, for mapping, etc., or something like that, so you can use this polar satellite. Okay, so this is the definition and this is the way how the polar satellite works. Now come to the last one, which is a geostationary satellite. Okay, now see, this is something very important. Geostationary satellite. What is the definition? Satellites which revolve around the Earth across the equatorial plane first and remains stationary with respect to Earth. Okay, means see, geostationary. Geo means Earth. Okay, so as the name suggests, this satellite is stationary with respect to Earth, right? And it is moving across the equatorial plane. What do you mean by this? See, for example, this is your Earth, okay, and these are your North Pole and South Pole, and these are your equators. Okay, so this satellite, this geostationary satellite, is revolving in this plane, like this horizontal plane. Okay, first. Second, it remains stationary with respect to Earth. It means that if you launch the satellite across this orbit, right, then the time of revolution of this satellite is same as that of the time of rotation of Earth. Means the time taken by the Earth to rotate one complete round, that time is equal to the rotation time of this satellite. That is approximately equal to 24 hours. Okay, so the time period of rotation of geostationary satellite is 24 hours approx, and Earth also 24 hours, and they both revolve in same direction. Earth is rotating from west to east. This is also rotating from west to east with same speed. Okay, so what happens basically, that if you have located or we have pointed the satellite, for example, in this position. Okay, so whenever you will see the satellite, you will see that the satellite is at same position. Okay, for example, here some person is standing and he is seeing this satellite. Okay, although it is not visible, they are at a higher distance, but I am assuming that if he is able to see this satellite above him, then in 24 hours always he will see this satellite above him. Okay, so this is the specific thing about geostationary satellite. Okay, now what is the use of geostationary satellite? There are multiple uses. For example, first is your communication. In communication, telecommunication. Okay, in telecommunication, these are used as relays. Okay, what are relays? I will explain in some other video. Basically for receiving and transmitting the signal, right? So they are used in communication process. Second, for spying. Okay, for example, you are required to keep an eye or monitor a specific place on the surface of Earth. Okay, so just locate this geostationary satellite above that surface, above that portion region. Okay, and without knowing anyone, the satellite will capture the images and keep an eye on that region. So it is used for spying purposes. Okay, third is for weather forecasting. Okay, so these are used for predicting the weather conditions in future also, right? So these are your uses and the principle of geostationary satellite. So this is the basic idea of a satellite and the types and the uses, right? So if the video is useful, then press the like button and subscribe the channel. Thank you.